Welcome back to the Deep Dive. For today's deep dive, well, you've given us a really interesting mix of texts to look at.
Yeah, quite a range. Marketing stuff, news reports, even bits of historical speeches.
Exactly. And our goal today, I think, is to move past just, identifying the parts of speech. We want to really see how words work strategically, how they shape how we see things.
Right, how they build narratives.
Yeah. And you'll remember maybe from our last discussion, we sort of set the groundwork. We talked about nouns being the bricks kind of,
Subjects, the objects, yeah.
and verbs as the action or the state of being, the cement holding it together. We had simple things like the leader spoke or the product launched.
Basic structure, absolutely essential.
Okay.
Well, but as you see, when you really dig into these sources, that basic structure just gives you the facts, the real impact, the persuasion, the influence that comes when you add the detail.
That's where the magic happens, as they say.
Kind of, yeah. It's the difference between just saying something happened and making you feel something about it or believe something specific.
Okay, so that brings us perfectly to today's focus. Adjectives and adverbs. These aren't just like fancy decorations.
Not at all.
They seem to be really precise tools for adding detail, sure, but also emotion, influence.
Exactly. And we can see in the text you shared how skilled writers and speakers use them very deliberately. It's almost surgical sometimes.
All right, let's unpack adjectives first then.
Yeah?
We all kind of learned in school, they describe nouns, right? The red car, the happy dog, simple stuff.
That's the basic definition, yes.
But looking at these sources, what else are they doing? How are they shaping our understanding in ways we might not even notice?
Well, what's really fascinating is how much they add, not just clarity, but connotation, that sort of associated meaning or feeling.
Connotation. Okay, give me an example from the text.
Sure. So in one of the marketing pieces, describing a new phone feature, say, calling it revolutionary instead of just new, those aren't just synonyms. Revolutionary feels big, important, game-changing. It gives the product this aura of, major progress.
Whereas new could just mean, well, it came out last Tuesday.
Exactly. It doesn't have that same emotional punch. And that choice is deliberate. It's designed to make you feel a certain way about the product.
That's a great point, especially for anything persuasive. You need that clarity, but also that feeling.
Yeah.
Any other examples that stood out?
Definitely. Think about a news report you sent over. It used the phrase, "The embattled politician delivered a statement."
Embattled, yeah.
That single adjective, embattled, it immediately frames that person, puts them on the defensive, maybe suggests they're struggling, they're under attack.
But before you even hear what they said.
You're already primed to see them in a certain light, vulnerable perhaps. Now imagine if it said, "The resilient politician."
Totally different vibe. Stronger, pushing back.
Precisely. The core event delivering a statement is the same, but the adjective changes the entire emotional backdrop. It directs your interpretation.
So it's painting a picture, yeah, but also setting the mood, almost dialing in the emotional frequency for the listener.
That's a good way to put it.
And we usually see them right before the noun, like you said,
Yeah.
embattled politician or fierce debate. But sometimes they come after linking verbs, right, like is or seems.
Yes, exactly. Words like is, are, was, were, seems, feels, appears, they connect the subject to a description.
So, like in the example, policy was controversial. Controversial still describes policy.
Absolutely. It's linked back to the noun policy by the verb was. Same function, just a different spot in the sentence structure.
Got it.
And, in some of the more technical sources you shared, like that scientific abstract, the adjective choices are all about precision.
Right. Less emotion, more data.
Exactly. So instead of, say, a big problem, you'd read about a statistically significant anomaly.
Statistically significant. Okay. That sounds much more rigorous.
It adds that layer of objective, measurable information. It builds credibility, which is crucial in that kind of writing. It tells you how it's significant, not just that it is.
Wow. So adjectives really aren't just fluff. They're doing heavy lifting, whether it's emotional weight or factual precision. Depends on the goal.
Completely depends on context and intent.
Okay. So if adjectives handle the nouns, give them color, weight, feeling. What about the actions? The verbs? Or even dialing up the intensity of those descriptions. That's where adverbs come in, I guess.
That's exactly their job. Adverbs step in to modify verbs, primarily. They tell us how, when, where, or to what extent an action happens.
How, when, where, to what extent?
Okay, think about those speeches you provided. We saw phrases like, "the crowd cheered enthusiastically."
Right. Tells you how they cheered.
And it hints at more, doesn't it? It suggests the speaker was successful, the message landed well, or another one, he argued passionately.
That lifts it beyond just he argued. It adds conviction and intensity.
Yes. It modifies the verb argued and tells you about the manner of the action.
And the easy clue for a lot of these, the one we often learn, is that carefully ending, right? Like quick is the adjective, a quick decision.
But quickly is the adverb he decided quickly. Describes the verb decided.
Okay, let's try one. Loud, adjective. A loud noise.
Yep.
So the adverb would be loudly. She spoke loudly.
Perfect. Describes how she spoke. But, and this is important, not all adverbs end in loudly.
The tricky ones. Okay, like what did you see in the sources?
Well, you see words like fast, well, often, hard, straight, common words.
Right, you wouldn't say the car drove fastly.
Exactly. You'd say the car drove fast. Fast here is an adverb modifying drove, or think about good versus well.
Okay.
Good is the adjective. She has a good voice. But well is the adverb. She sings well. Describes how she sings.
Ah, I see. Although you hear people say she sings good all the time.
You do, conversationally. But in more formal writing, like in some of your sources, the standard is sings well. Similarly, you might hear real good. But formally, it's really good, where really is the adverb modifying the adjective good.
So really is the adverb there. Okay.
Yeah.
These distinctions matter for understanding the tone and maybe the formality level of the source.
Absolutely. And this leads to something else, something you flagged as really interesting from the analyses. Adverbs don't just modify verbs.
Right. This is where it gets layered. They can modify adjectives.
Yes. And even other adverbs. It's all about adding precision or emphasis.
Okay. Give me an example of modifying an adjective.
Take a phrase like a remarkably effective strategy. Effective is the adjective describing strategy.
Right.
But remarkably is an adverb. It's modifying effective. It's telling us how effective. Not just effective, but remarkably so. It dials up the intensity.
I see. It emphasizes the adjective. Like in that marketing copy, I remember seeing incredibly innovative design.
Perfect example. Innovative is the adjective. Incredibly is the adverb, modifying it, making it sound even more impressive. Or extremely durable materials. Same idea.
So the adverbs are like amplifiers for the adjectives.
Often, yes. Or they can specify the degree. Now, what about modifying another adverb?
Okay, how does that work?
Think about she spoke very quietly. Quietly is already an adverb. It tells us how she spoke.
Right. Modifying spoke.
But very is also an adverb. What's it modifying here?
It's modifying. Quietly. It's telling us how quietly.
Exactly. Not just quietly, but very quietly. It intensifies the other adverb.
Wow. Okay, that's a crucial distinction. It allows for really fine-tuning the description. You can get incredibly specific.
Precisely. This layering creates a whole spectrum of meaning and intensity. It lets communicators express subtle shades, slight hesitation, overwhelming enthusiasm, deep concern. It's a powerful way to shape the message without necessarily changing the core facts.
This is fascinating. We've really gone from just, identifying nouns and verbs, the basic frame, to seeing how adjectives and adverbs are used to, like, paint the walls, arrange the furniture, describe the action happening inside the house.
That's a great analogy. It's moving from structure to artistry, in a way.
And understanding this isn't just about grammar, is it?
Not at all. If you connect this to the bigger picture, understanding how descriptive language works, how adjectives and adverbs are chosen and deployed, it's key to understanding how influence works, how persuasion happens, how clarity is achieved or sometimes obscured.
In pretty much any communication.
Any communication. And like any sophisticated skill, whether it's, playing chess or analyzing financial reports, really getting good at using and interpreting this requires practice, critical observation.
Okay, practice time. This leads us perfectly to a challenge for you, our listener. We want you to try applying this kind of analysis yourself this week.
Get your hands dirty with description.
Yeah. So here's the idea. First, just pick a simple scene or object. Something every day. Could be your desk, your commute, making coffee.
Anything simple.
Second, try describing it using just the basics, nouns, and verbs. Mug sits, steam rises, very bare bones. Third, and this is the key part, go back and add adjectives and adverbs, but don't just throw them in randomly. Think strategically. What feeling do you want? What specific detail needs highlighting?
What connotation are you aiming for?
Right. So maybe mug sits becomes the chipped blue mug sits solidly, or steam rises becomes wispy steam rises slowly.
So the feeling changes.
Completely. So the challenge is create maybe 3 descriptive sentences like that. Really focus on how the adjectives and adverbs you choose change not just what you see, but how you feel about it.
It's a great exercise because it makes you conscious of word choice. It forces you to think about the specific job each descriptive word is doing, much like the writers and speakers in the sources we analyze today. Are you aiming for clarity, emotion, emphasis?
Exactly. I mean, what we've really explored today is how powerful these seemingly small words are. Understanding them, using them well, it genuinely enriches how we communicate.
And how we interpret the communication we receive.
Yeah. It helps us analyze the messages coming at us much more effectively, to see the nuances, the potential biases, the persuasive techniques.
Which really raises a question for all of us, doesn't it? When you're reading the news or scrolling through social media or listening to an ad, how often do you stop and think about why that specific adjective was used? Or why that adverb was placed just so?
Hmm. What hidden messages or emotional nudges might be packed into those descriptive choices?
Are they trying to make something seem urgent, trustworthy, dangerous, exciting? The descriptive words are often doing a lot of that work below the surface.
It's a fantastic point. Just think about that. How two simple types of words, adjectives and adverbs, can totally shift your perception of a scene, an event, a person, a product. What stories, what layers of meaning are we potentially missing if we aren't tuned in to how things are being described? That's definitely something to mull over this week.
Food for thought.
Absolutely. And as we wrap up this deep dive, get ready for next time, we're going to be tackling another crucial piece of the linguistic puzzle: prepositions.
Ah, the little words that do big work.
Exactly. Small but mighty words like in, on, under, through, across, during. We'll look at how your sources use these to show relationships, location, time, direction, even more abstract connections. They literally put everything in its place.
Looking forward to that one. They're deceptively complex.
They really are. So, until then, keep practicing your descriptions. Pay attention to those adjectives and adverbs swirling around you. Think about their purpose, their impact. And please join us again for our next exploration right here on The Deep Dive.